Stress management consultant.
Your physical and mental health matters.
Stress management consultant.
Your physical and mental health matters.
Stress management consultant.
Your physical and mental health matters.
Stress management consultant.
Your physical and mental health matters.
Stress management consultant.
Your physical and mental health matters.
Stress management consultant.
Your physical and mental health matters.
Stress management consultant.
Your physical and mental health matters.
Welcome to Stress Management Consultant. Here, we focus on helping you manage stress, build emotional intelligence, and improve your overall well-being. Whether you're looking for practical tips, insightful strategies, or just a little inspiration, you're in the right place. Join us on this journey to a more balanced and fulfilling life, one video at a time.
Stress management consultant.
Your physical and mental health matters.
Welcome to Stress Management Consultant. Here, we focus on helping you manage stress, build emotional intelligence, and improve your overall well-being. Whether you're looking for practical tips, insightful strategies, or just a little inspiration, you're in the right place. Join us on this journey to a more balanced and fulfilling life, one video at a time.
Stress management consultant.
Your physical and mental health matters.
Welcome to Stress Management Consultant. Here, we focus on helping you manage stress, build emotional intelligence, and improve your overall well-being. Whether you're looking for practical tips, insightful strategies, or just a little inspiration, you're in the right place. Join us on this journey to a more balanced and fulfilling life, one video at a time.
Stress management consultant.
Your physical and mental health matters.
Welcome to Stress Management Consultant. Here, we focus on helping you manage stress, build build emotional intelligence, and improve your overall well-being. Whether you're looking for practical tips, insightful strategies, or just a little inspiration, you're in the right place. Join us on this journey to a more balanced and fulfilling life, one video at a time.
Stress management consultant.
Your physical and mental health matters.
Welcome to Stress Management Consultant. Here, we focus on helping you manage stress, build emotional intelligence, and improve your overall well-being. Whether you're looking for practical tips, insightful strategies, or just a little inspiration, you're in the right place. Join us on this journey to a more balanced and fulfilling life, one video at a time.
Stress management consultant.
Your physical and mental health matters.
Welcome to Stress Management Consultant. Here, we focus on helping you manage stress, build emotional intelligence, and improve your overall well-being. Whether you're looking for practical tips, insightful strategies, or just a little inspiration, you're in the right place. Join us on this journey to a more balanced and fulfilling life, one video at a time.
Stress management consultant.
Your physical and mental health matters.
Welcome to Stress Management Consultant. Here, we focus on helping you manage stress, build emotional intelligence, and improve your overall well-being. Whether you're looking for practical tips, insightful strategies, or just a little inspiration, you're in the right place. Join us on this journey to a more balanced and fulfilling life, one video at a time.
Stress management consultant.
Your physical and mental health matters.
Welcome to Stress Management Consultant. Here, we focus on helping you manage stress, build emotional intelligence, and improve your overall well-being. Whether you're looking for practical tips, insightful strategies, or just a little inspiration, you're in the right place. Join us on this journey to a more balanced and fulfilling life, one video at a time.
Stress management consultant.
Your physical and mental health matters.
Welcome to Stress Management Consultant. Here, we focus on helping you manage stress, build emotional intelligence, and improve your overall well-being. Whether you're looking for practical tips, insightful strategies, or just a little inspiration, you're in the right place. Join us on this journey to a more balanced and fulfilling life, one video at a time.
Stress management consultant.
Your physical and mental health matters.
Welcome to Stress Management Consultant. Here, we focus on helping you manage stress, build emotional intelligence, and improve your overall well-being. Whether you're looking for practical tips, insightful strategies, or just a little inspiration, you're in the right place. Join us on this journey to a more balanced and fulfilling life, one video at a time.
Stress management consultant.
Your physical and mental health matters.
Welcome to Stress Management Consultant. Here, we focus on helping you manage stress, build emotional intelligence, and improve your overall well-being. Whether you're looking for practical tips, insightful strategies, or just a little inspiration, you're in the right place. Join us on this journey to a more balanced and fulfilling life, one video at a time.
Stress management consultant.
Your physical and mental health matters.
Welcome to Stress Management Consultant. Here, we focus on helping you manage stress, build emotional intelligence, and improve your overall well-being. Whether you're looking for practical tips, insightful strategies, or just a little inspiration, you're in the right place. Join us on this journey to a more balanced and fulfilling life, one video at a time.
Stress management consultant.
Your physical and mental health matters.
Welcome to Stress Management Consultant. Here, we focus on helping you manage stress, build emotional intelligence, and improve your overall well-being. Whether you're looking for practical tips, insightful strategies, or just a little inspiration, you're in the right place. Join us on this journey to a more balanced and fulfilling life, one video at a time.
Stress management consultant.
Your physical and mental health matters.
Welcome to Stress Management Consultant. Here, we focus on helping you manage stress, build emotional intelligence, and improve your overall well-being. Whether you're looking for practical tips, insightful strategies, or just a little inspiration, you're in the right place. Join us on this journey to a more balanced and fulfilling life, one video at a time.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. While we await others to join us, so we just be starting out almost like immediately, so we don't waste much time. So okay now. Let's just wait for like 2-3 minutes. Yeah, yet to have just have like about 9 viewers. So let us just wait. Okay. All right. All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. All right, I'm Halade Adiola James, your host, and I am thrilled to have you with us to have you with us as we dive into mastering the new work order, achieving work-life balance in a remote work environment. So before we get started, I did like to introduce um, my fantastic host to you. So I'm not the only one on hosting you today, so I have someone that is joining me in hosting.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Oluwafemisi Olabi,
So
and together this morning we will be guiding you through today's session and sharing insights that can actually help you achieve key outcome of this webinar. We'll also be sharing practical tools for work-life balance, productivity boost, increased engagement and motivation, just to mention but a few. So I'm actually decided and delighted to have you all join us. Thank you.
all right, thank you for that wonderful introduction. And so we are excited to have such a diverse and engaging audience with us today. And we encourage you to interact, drop your favorite emojis and your questions in the chat, and we will make sure to address them during the question and answer section. To our wonderful audience, let us welcome ourselves using our favorite emojis to welcome each other as we kickstart the webinar. All right. Um, before we bring our speaker on board, so in the late 1700 to 1800, the world witnessed what we called industrial revolution. And ever since then, there have been evolving of different revolution. We have the early 1990s. We have technological revolution. And lately now, we are also experiencing a work revolution as well. And that brings us to the importance of we looking at this topic called mastering new work order, achieving work-life balance in a remote environment. All right, it is my pleasure to introduce to us our guest speaker, Alade Julius Ayodeji, who will be bringing a wealth of knowledge and experience to today's session. So I will do just a little introduction about him, why he come on board. He's just going to tell us more about himself. So Mr. Julius is a CEO of Beloved Publishing House with an impressive background with the theme of today's webinar tag, Mastering the New Work Order, Achieving Work-Life Balance in Remote Work Environments. And he will be sharing with us valuable strategies and tips with us. Without further ado, please join me welcome Alade Julius Ayodeji. Over to you.
Good day, everybody, from wherever you are joining us from. How are we doing today? So I'm really excited to be with us today. So before we dive into today's topic, I would like to really appreciate the stress management consultants and the entire team for inviting me to be a part of this important conversation. I call it an important conversation because we are transitioning into a new era of work where you can just from the comfort of your home begin to work and earn your income. So this is an important conversation because we need to really prepare ourselves for what is coming next. The whole world may, to some extent, go either hybrid or fully remote in many of our occupations. So it is also my privilege to be sharing on this particular topic. So I really appreciate the stress management consultant team. So our topic today, as the anchor and the host has told us, is mastering the new work order, achieving work-life balance in a remote environment. So a big shout out to all our viewers on YouTube. We really appreciate you for taking out the time to join us for this conversation. And we hope that this session will really be impactful for every one of us. And we would leave with at least one or two things to prepare ourselves for the future, because this is what we need to be able to position ourselves to maximize what is coming next. So I'll give us a little background into my remote work experience. My remote work journey started in the year 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic. The lockdown really opened the eyes of the global community to several opportunities that we never thought about. So we are in the middle of something big, something great. And the earlier we prepare ourselves, the better for us. So my remote journey started on Fiverr as a freelancing also. And I specialize in helping people to proofread, edit, and format their books for publishing platforms like Amazon KDP, Ingram Spark, iBooks, and just quite a number of other of publishing platforms. So this has really helped, and over the last 4 years, really, since from 2020 to 2024, I've helped over 1,400 clients to publish and edit their books. So if we are to do the maths, that's like an average of 30 projects per month. It's like having at least one project per day to work on, including Saturdays and Sundays, really. You get, so if one is not intentional about balancing your work and life, you would get into that illusion of just working 24/7. So it takes being intentional to really balance your work and your career in a remote work setting. So my own life is an example of the need to really prioritize your personal life, Because if you don't prioritize your personal life in this kind of setting, you discover that you believe that you are working remotely, you have flexibility over your time, but in the actual sense, you are actually overworking yourself. If you don't prioritize your personal life, you discover that you'll be running fatigue from one day on to the other. So this is why this conversation is very important for us. For me as a freelancer, I see myself as a self-employed person, really, but for many of us who work in companies presently, when our companies decide to go remote, it's not the same as the case of a freelancer who is like a sole proprietor offering digital services, but you are employed in a company. The company has their own set of rules and all those things. And in this particular setting for freelancers now, you can decide on the project you want to accept and the project you would like to reject. But for structured offices, moving remotely or operating on the hybrid scheme, you can't decide the kind of work that you will do. It is what is sent to you that you have to do. And that is why we need to prepare ourselves emotionally and mentally for what is coming so that we'll be able to take in all these things. So basically for me, my day starts very early, like around that 3 a.m. And I observe my devotion for around 1 hour. And so depending on how I feel, you can't cheat nature that much. You can try your best to work to cover up, but depending on how I'm feeling at that point, depending on my energy level, I may decide to go back to bed or start working, responding to client inquiries and all these things. So for people who are working in a structured office, not as a freelancer now, you will receive messages from your boss in the morning, afternoon, evening, due to advancement in technology. Even in the nights, you wake up to see some messages. This is the next project you need to work on. And you'll be like, oh, we should be sleeping at this time. But remote work setting can actually blur the gap between personal and professional life. And this is why this topic really matters. Due to the from your remote work has actually been something that has been around for a while, really. It has been around for a while, but the pandemic is one of the things that really popularized remote work. So I would like to share my slide with us now so that those watching us from various platforms, YouTube and others, can be able to see what we have on the slide and be able to follow the program. Please give me a few minutes. So as we continue now, the first question I would like to pose to us right now is, do we have a life of our own? That's the first question I would like to pose to us this morning. Do we have a life outside work? A quote by Paul Songa says that no one on his deathbed ever said, I wish I had spent more time at the office. No one on his deathbed will say, I wish I spent more time on projects. I wish I'd spent more time on this. They would just, the best anyone can do on their deathbed would just be to request for more time if they need it. Another quote by Madden says that work, love, and play are the great balance wheels of a man's life. So all these things, your work, your love life, and also your play, your recreation, your play, these three are the great balance wheels of a man's life. And Hillary Clinton also joined and said that don't confuse having a career with having a life. These are two different things because, and Ita Stock actually supported what Hillary Clinton said by saying that you will never fully be satisfied, truly be satisfied with your work until you are satisfied by life. So when your life is in place, your work will also be in place. Your relationship with your colleagues will also be in place. So this is why we need to have this conversation even in a remote work setting. When your family is in place, it will be easier for you to really balance your work schedule, be able to serve your organization well. So why this topic matters, I've actually thought about some of these things that the rise, the significant increase in remote work due to technological advancements and events like COVID-19 has permanently influenced the global work structure. So this has really impacted the global work job structure to the extent that most employers, they prefer working using the hybrid method because really there are two ways to incorporate remote work. You can decide to go fully remote, or you can decide to use the hybrid method such that employees can come to the office a few days in a week and work at home or from any location at other times. So I remembered a particular story some times ago that I read online, and this will actually stress the reason why some employers prefer the hybrid method or even the remote, going fully remote. This story, I read it online some years ago that a particular man wanted, his son was very sick and required a surgery. This man, he went to the hospital and they gave him a quote of several thousands of dollars for that surgery for his son. But he explored other options and he got in contact with a doctor in India who can actually do the same surgery. Then he got a quotation for that same surgery. The quotation for the surgery in India plus the transportation cost, the hotel cost, and everything he would spend is far, far less than the quotation he got to do the surgery in the United States. It was several $1,000s different from what he got in the United States. So that man went to India, his son had the surgery, and after the whole thing, he was thinking, so just by a change of location, I could actually cut costs. And that's one of the reasons why we have so many Nigerians who are working remotely from the comfort of their homes now, because employers in Western countries, most especially, they discovered that they can, if they are to employ a full staff over there in the United States, over there in Europe, Australia, all these advanced countries now, employing somebody may actually cost them more. Employing an office staff may cost them more. And that's one of the things that I learned from this man, Nas Daily. If you are very conversant with Nas Daily, all his employees, all of them, they are remote workers. He got most of them on Fiverr. And that's why you should also consider remote options, creating your gig on Fiverr or Upwork or several other platforms. These are places where you can really maximize your skills and also earn in foreign currency. So the story of this particular man shows that employers out there really want people who can get the job done at lesser cost. They want people that can get the job done at lesser cost. This is very important for us to take note of and also to prepare us for the future. So I would like us to go over to some of the benefits of some of the benefits of working remotely. One important benefit of working remotely is the fact that you can get jobs from a global audience. You can get jobs from various countries of the world. That's one benefit of working remotely. Another benefit of working remotely is the fact that you have a flexible working hours. But this flexible working hour can only be maximized or achieved if you have structure, and we'll be going over that in the course of this discussion. So, what are the challenges of maintaining work-life balance in a remote setting? What are the challenges? As much as remote work offers us the flexibility of working whenever we want, but it can really be difficult for us to maintain a healthy work-life balance in this particular setting because there is no physical separation between your office and your personal life. In this case, in remote sensing, in a remote setting, there is no physical separation. Like, for people that go to the office now, you can easily switch on your work mode if there's something like that when you are going to the office. Then when you come back home, you can switch off your work mode. But in a remote work setting, you are almost always on and also due to the advancement in technology, your boss can communicate with you on the next project at any time, whether you are sleeping, whether you are in a program or just anything. They can just message you at any time for the next project, or they can even request for progress on your current jobs. And this has really blurred the line between your physical and your professional life and your personal life. So in remote work setting, it is important for us to really balance and plan strategies to be able to maximize ourselves, our life, maximize our health, maximize everything, our family also. The next thing I would like us to discuss here, so that we can really get a hold. I've mentioned some of these things earlier, but I would just like to really stress them. In the 1970s, there was an increase in the cost of transportation in the 1970s. And that was also around the time mobile communication started rising. So at that time, some organizations already started exploring that option for some of their staffs, although it was really the COVID-19 that gave rise to the acceptance of remote work in various sectors. And this was largely supported by the advancement in technology. That was also when most of us knew about Zoom. Zoom is this and that. That was when some of us also knew about Google, what's it called? And all these other video conference apps. What are the current trends and statistics in remote work? What are the current trends and statistics in remote work? A survey that was conducted by Gallup State of Work Report in the year 2020, that was after the pandemic now. It says that 70% of organizations in the United States offer or are willing to offer remote work options on the long term. And also another report by Upwork projected that by the year 2025, that about 36.2 million Americans will actually be working remotely. And that particular population is around 22% of the total workforce in the United States. This is a huge jump from what was the statistics before the pandemic. Only around 5% of Americans work remotely before the pandemic. But the projection now for 2025 says that around 22% will be working remotely by the year 2025. So if this projection um, works, if this projection is true for everything, this means that many people would need to start preparing their mind to work in the remote work environment. So I've spoken about some of the benefits and challenges of remote work. I would just like to emphasize that I've talked about flexibility already, then reduce commute times. That's a big advantage of remote work. For some people, they need to travel 45 minutes, 1 hour in a day to their office. And if you are to calculate that now, let's say going to the office is 30 minutes, coming back is 30 minutes. You also need to calculate the time you need to dress up, go to the office, plan your food for office and all those other things. So this will, in the remote work setting now, this has largely brought down or reduced that because you don't have to go to the office every day. And access to global opportunities. I've also spoken about that employers can employ people from around the world, and also employees can also get jobs from around the world. So I've also spoken a little about the challenges of working in a remote work setting, that you risk overworking. Personally, on most days, I work between 12 and 16 hours in a day. So if I'm not intentional about communicating with friends, communicating with family members, I may not have the opportunity to do this. So I have to be really intentional to respond to chats, because most times you get chats from clients, you receive chats from potential clients also, and you want to quickly respond to that so that you can earn more income. Another thing really is that feeling of isolation. That feeling of isolation for someone who doesn't, who is the only one, like you have your own apartment, you are the only one in your room all the time, 24/7. That can really isolate a person, that the personal challenges you are facing in life, you may not have somebody to speak to. You know, human beings cherish this. We are communal beings, really. We really thrive when we have people to talk to. We thrive when we have people to rub minds with. So it's a big challenge, that feeling of isolation. If one does not work on this, the person may just earning from remote work, but dying silently. So remote work has really blurred the line between our work and our personal life. So we've been talking about work-life balance in a remote setting. So what does it really mean, so that we can understand what we've been talking about? For some of us, we are just getting to familiarize ourselves with that term, work-life balance, work-life balance. So work-life balance refers to the ability to create an harmonious relationship between your personal life and your professional obligations. So I want us to note that word, harmonious relationship. One should not suffer because of the other. Because you want to respond to your family, your work should not suffer, because the organization will suffer if you decide to neglect your professional obligations. So it involves setting boundaries that allow individuals to allocate sufficient time and energy to both their work responsibilities and personal interests. Family health, and their leisure activities. So this is really important for us to allocate time and energy. So you won't be so drained. For people, for married people now who have children, when your children want to play, you won't say, "Oh, I'm too tired today. I've been working since morning." This and that. You won't have excuses to be giving them. So none, either of these should not suffer because you are working remotely. So what are the impacts of work-life balance on our health and of remote work? What are the impacts of remote work on our health and well-being? The fact that we work remotely has its own impact on our physical health. Sometimes you have to sit for long or extended period of time to complete the project or the allocation for the day. Like you should have a structure. These are the jobs for today. So due to the extended working hours and the constant stress and insufficient time to exercise, it results in a number of health problems. It results in fatigue. It results in poor structure. That's why it's important to also have ergonomic chairs in your office as a remote worker. So, and in more serious cases, sitting down for long or that long period of time that you have to work can result in cardiovascular disease. So it is important for us to start with incorporating exercise into our life. I remember some weeks ago, I started exercising every day when I noticed that my body is not really in shape. If I should stand for a while, I'll start having backache. So I started exercising every day, just 15 minutes per day, most times on the average, 15 minutes per day. And within few days, it really had a great impact on me. Like I discovered that I felt healthier, stronger, and that backache has actually reduced. It has reduced. So another area where working remotely can impact us is mentally. You sometimes, due to the stress and overworking now, you may start having headache, you may start having anxiety, you may start experiencing burnout because of that extended period of work. And for a freelancer now, I get to work on various projects. Like each project requires different approach. Each project requires different approach. You get to think, overwork your brain, and the brain is just always working. Really, it's always working. So if one is not intentional about your mental health, this can result in serious issues. And another area where working remotely can impact us is in our emotional health. Emotional health. I saw a video some times ago, and it's about children. It's about children and them watching videos on, all these cartoons and everything on YouTube, watching some of these cartoons. So some of those children now, a particular somebody now commented on one of those videos that when they stop their child from watching those cartoons on the internet, I won't be mentioning the names of any cartoon in particular, when they stop their child from watching that cartoon on the internet now, they discover the child is 5 years old and the child does not speak. Like he doesn't speak because the child is always glued to the television sets, watching video from morning till night. So the fact that the child doesn't have human beings to interact with had an impact on the child's communication. The child didn't speak until age 5. And this person who commented said that after 2 weeks that they stopped their child from watching cartoon on the TV and just to interact with people, the child started speaking after 2 weeks. Imagine the child that didn't speak for 5 good years started speaking after 2 weeks of stopping the child from becoming too engaged with the television. And that's also almost the same thing with a remote worker. You are glued to your computer system for long periods. If one is not intentional about one's emotional health, one may discover that your communication will be affected. Your And when you get in the midst of people, you may not be able to really interact or express yourself very well. Everything is just all about work. You may not be able to crack a joke, oh, this and that, because for some work setting now, everything is just business as usual. You don't need to communicate with your colleagues, this and that. In most remote work setting, if the employers are not intentional about having conferences or having a timeout, with all their employees, it's just an isolated me and the HR or me and my boss in my own in my own sector of the organization. Let's say you are in the engineer, this person is in the HR department, in the another person is in the communication department, various departments like that. It may just be you and the person you are reporting directly to. So one has to really be intentional. So what are the principles of balancing our work and life remotely? What are these principles? The number one principle is time management. Like working remotely has really taught me a lot of time management. And will really help us, like if we have the structure, it will improve our time management skills. That you get to calculate that, okay, if I can get 4 hours, I should be able to complete this task. If I can get 2 hours, I should be able to complete this task. So we need to establish clear work hours also and personal time hours to improve our time management. So you need to ensure that, okay, from so time to so time, let's say from 8 a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m., those are my work periods. And from that 8 p.m. till the next day, every communication will be responded to early the next morning. So having this kind of structure, for me really now, when it's 11 p.m., I reduce all my communications till 4 a.m. the next day, 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. the next day. All business communications and everything, I reduce them. And another principle of balancing our work and life remotely is to establish boundaries. So we need to be intentional about creating a physical space and mental boundaries to separate our work from our personal life. So, and one of the things that can really help is having a particular space that you have carved out for work. For me now, I don't carry my computer to the bedroom. When I'm in the bedroom, it is a place to sleep. It is a place to relax. It is a place to just enjoy myself. So I don't carry my computer to the bedroom. I have a space where my computer stays until I get there. So even my clients, although I work remotely, I'll just tell them until I get to the office, so I'll respond to this message when I get to the office. Sometimes they may need to wait for 4 hours, they may need to wait for 8 hours. Sometimes they may even need to wait for 24 hours. I just tell them I'll respond to this when I get to the office. And they'll say, okay, because they believe that I have a office. And another principle for balancing our work and life remotely is prioritization. We need to know what is urgent, what is important. This is really important. Till today, I've not really been able to really maximize this. Yes, I've tried my best to ensure I attend to all urgent things and all the important things first. But sometimes some things are really urgent, but I'm unable to really place them at that time. It is when it's not like I've procrastinated. I'm not, oh, that thing I should have attended to it immediately. I should have that should have been something important to do. So this is for I'm just chipping this in so that we all can develop strategies to be able to identify the things that are really urgent and the things that are very important to take care of at that time. So now, what are the best practices for remote workers? What are the best practices for remote workers? The first thing is that we need to practice remote creation. We need to have daily we call it daily rituals. Like some, okay, every morning you wake up, before you jump to go and work now, your devotion could be one thing. The first thing that, okay, before I go to work, I start working on my client's project today. The first thing I'm going to do is to have my devotion. After devotion, do a little exercise. After a little exercise, let me respond to all my chats on WhatsApp. Respond to my friends, respond to my siblings on WhatsApp. So we need to have that kind of routine, like your morning rituals and your end of the day rituals that, okay, before I sleep now, and generally before you sleep as a remote worker now, it is important for you to ensure that you have a gap between your screen time and actually falling asleep. You need to have a gap between your screen time and falling asleep so that you can have adequate rest and your eyes will not be itching you. I believe this is not common to everybody though. So another best practice is having regular breaks. This is very important to have regular breaks. You can use the Pomodoro technique. The Pomodoro technique, it's about you working for like 15 minutes. Every 15 minutes, you have breaks, work another 15 minutes, have breaks. Then after some time, you would have longer breaks. It's just having short breaks and long breaks. I do this very often. And how I actually incorporate this is to have time. I can just decide to watch skits or listen to some for like 5, 10, 15 minutes, then go back to the work. Just to have that break. You walk around just to reduce fatigue. So we need communication strategies and also self-care. I'm trying to rush some of the things I have because of our time. So time management tools now. One of the tools that I use to manage my time is AnyDo. AnyDo is a task management tool where you can just have your tasks for the day. Okay, these are the things I want to do today. These are the people I want to speak to. These are all the things I need to engage in today. So this will really help us to, and it will give a notification like an alert, an alarm now that, okay, this is what you plan to do by 9 a.m. This is what you plan to do by 10 a.m. This is very important for us. We also need communication tools like Slack and Zoom, just like we are communicating today, YouTube and other things really. So another thing I would like to mention is automation. For me now, I have imputed some of my data on ChatGPT now. So now when potential clients send me messages, I'll just type on ChatGPT that respond to this message on my behalf, and it will respond to the message. I'll copy it and then go and paste it instead of me wasting time to think about what I should send, what I should type. ChatGPT will just give me a response. I'll edit it if it is needed, then copy and paste it. So we need to leverage AI. We need to create automation for repetitive tasks so that we can free up time to do other things. And in the remote setting, one thing we need to know is that employers also have a role to play. Employers have a role to play. So I'm speaking to the employers watching us on YouTube now that we have a role to play to promote work-life balance in the remote setting. So one of the things that employers can encourage is flexibility. They need to offer what flexibility in the number of days that their employees have to work. They need to also provide wellness programs and resources that can help their employees to manage and balance their work and life. It is very important. There was a particular news I heard, story I heard from a medical doctor in one of the hospitals here in Kwara State, who said that when they noticed that many medical doctors were just some of them were just dying, being hospitalized and other things, that their MD told them that all medical doctors should just go for a test to know the current state of their health. The medical doctor said that only one woman out of all the medical doctors that went for that medical examination, like medical test, only one woman was certified that she is living healthy, that all of them, all the other ones, that including himself, that he had medical issues, underlying medical issues. So this is something that employers can incorporate. Even though their employees are working remotely, they can encourage them, go and do tests. When you notice anything, this and that, they can encourage it. So when employees hear this from their employers, they get to take it really seriously. So another thing that employers can do is to build a supportive remote work culture. A supportive remote work culture. They can promote open communication and trust-based management practices. So, and managing burnout and stress in remote work. How do we manage burnout? How do we manage stress? So we need to, I've mentioned some of these things already, that these signs of burnout reflects in our physical state, emotional state, and it also shows in our mental exhaustion, that we get easily fatigued when we are experiencing burnout. So it's important for us to take note of our body signals, because the body doesn't just break down in a day. It starts sending signals, but when we ignore those signs, ignore those signals, we get to injure ourselves, our health in the long run. So it's very important that as a remote worker, we prioritize our health and ensure that we take note of all these signals. So I've mentioned the strategies for managing burnout. I've mentioned a few of them. That's for us to manage burnout, we need to set realistic expectations, like a job that you should complete that you should be able to complete in let's say 8 hours. You now start telling, like you now tell your boss that, oh, a job that you are supposed to complete in 8 hours, you are telling your boss or your employer that you will finish it in 4 hours. Being something that you need 8 hours to complete, you're not saying you can complete it in 4 hours. Set realistic expectation for yourself, set realistic schedule for yourself. So with this, I would like us to entertain questions. If you have questions on YouTube, if you have questions across the platforms where you are watching, please send in your questions so that we can answer them before we close for the day. So okay. So before we move to final words, I would like to respond to some of the questions. I received some questions here. The person said, so sir, please, the main reason why we work is to be able to meet our needs. With the new work order, that is working remote coming, would one pick a remote job of 250,000 or on-site job of 400,000 based on some statistical analysis with the current economic situation of the country? This is a very important, logical, and this question is just fantastic. This question is fantastic. That would you pick a remote job of 250,000 over an on-site job of 400,000? So it is important for us to really analyze what is involved in picking the online job now and also picking the on-site job. Now, the first thing is calculate your transport cost for the offline job. What's your transport cost? If it's a job where you are spending like 2,000 naira on transportation per month, that is around 60,000 in a month on transportation. And mind you, it's not just the time that you are calculating now. It's not just the time that you are calculating for. The cost. You're also calculating for time, transportation time now. Let's say the job site is not too far, or if it is far, that's another ball game now. If you need to spend like 30 minutes for transportation per day, that's 1 hour, 10 minutes in a day. If you need to spend 35 minutes to go to the office, that's around 1 hour, 10 minutes in a day. You also need to know that you need to prepare for your job. And another thing to consider is the work ethics of the online job, the remote job, and also the work ethic of the on-site job. You need to you need to know their work ethic. Is this something you can cope with? So this requires the person to really analyze all the things that are involved to make to make a logical decision on this. Both working on site and working remotely are good options, but when you weigh the cost, okay, what's the cost of working remotely? What's the cost of working on site? So you know that you have to go to the office from the morning to the evening. You have to focus on your work alone, So for this particular person, I would advise that the person weighs all the options that the person has, weighs or all the things that will be involved in the end, like your transportation cost, the time that you need to transport yourself every day, and also the fatigue of transportation, because I schooled in Futmina, and I remember that if we travel to school like this for the next 2 days, you may just be sleeping, you may not really be very active or useful to yourself. So in those small portions of time, especially in developing countries now, where we have issues with our roads, all those things also accumulate the fatigue that the body feels. So please weigh your option. Weigh the factors that are involved: transportation, the time, and also the fact that you would be in an office setting, in direct contact with people. That's very good. Having direct contact is very good. So please weigh your options, and I believe that I have been able to share some insights on this question. So we have another question here from Anne. Here, can I find a remote job from outside the United States? It is very possible to find remote jobs from outside the United States. Very possible. One can explore freelancing platforms, and one can also go on LinkedIn. There are so many people that advertise remote jobs outside the United States. There are remote jobs in Dubai, there are remote job options in Europe, various places. You can explore LinkedIn. And also opportunity decks. You can go on opportunity decks. There are some people that advertise remote job options. So it is very possible to find remote jobs outside the United States. So I believe that I've been able to share insights on that question. I don't know if you have any other question. Okay. Okay, I believe that's all the questions that we have for now. So I'll just round up with this, that in the rapid evolving landscape of remote work, mastering the new work order and achieving a healthy work-life balance has never been more
Right.
than.
Thank you. I would like to ask your
Okay.
perspective about, a lot of youth now in Nigeria, there is what we call the Japa syndrome.
Mm.
Um,
Okay. The Japa syndrome, where many Nigerians are opting to travel out of the country, there are two ways to it, and there are two important things to really consider. If you have the option of working remotely and you consider the cost of living, you consider uh, just what I would just say is really that, you know, there are some other critical issues that one should explore when it comes to staying in Nigeria and also going for the JAPA. Yes, because you need to consider security, because it's very important. If based on the kind of job that you do, and you discover that many people in your profession are being kidnapped, or many people in your profession, the work condition over here in Nigeria is not as great as working outside the country. I believe exploring working outside Nigeria may be the best option. So it requires us really weighing what is the kind of our career actually determines what I would suggest in this particular situation. Like for somebody in tech now, if you have remote work opportunities and the pay is much better than what is available over there, I would say that you should stay in Nigeria if the pay is better. If you are looking at the pay, but if you are looking at comfort, or you are considering just being able to stay in a place where the environment is much better, you may consider actually going outside the country to work. So there are two ways to it. Not on one side and in favor of one side or the other. So just consider the options. Consider the options. Let your focus not be because your friends have traveled abroad. Let your decision be data-based and logical, driven logically. Like, let it be logical decisions, not emotional decisions. It must be logical decisions. That is very important. Weigh the options and ensure that you go for what will serve you, your family, and also the community. This is very important. I hope I've been able to answer that question, sir. So we have another question here. What of we that we are just new to remote job? How do we start? How do we start? Okay. Just like the option I suggested when we got a question that can somebody find jobs from outside Nigeria? For somebody that is new to remote work now, especially in a place like Nigeria now, especially in a place like Nigeria now, I would suggest that the person explores freelancing marketplaces like Fiverr and freelancing websites like Upwork. So one can start by exploring that. And another thing one can do is, which skills do you have? Because it's very important. What are the digital skills that you want to offer? Because that is what you want to sell as a remote worker. If you have graphic design skills, you can explore creating a gig or creating a profile on Fiverr or on Upwork. You can start with that if you are from this part of the country. I mean, from this part of the world, like if you are in Nigeria, you can, excuse me, please. You can start from that. So thank you so much. Do we have any other question? Okay. So in the absence of any other question, I'll just encourage us to ensure that as remote workers now, we try as much as possible to have an harmonious and sustainable work approach. We should have a strategy to balance our professional obligations or
Already, I don't have
responsibilities.
any other question for now. Probably if there are other questions, after the webinar, we can do a DM.
So over to you, our host. Thank you so much for this opportunity to share a few thoughts on the new work order. And I believe that we are better, like if we really maximize the things that we've shared in this webinar, we'll be better prepared to actually move into the remote work environment. So over to you, our host. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. I'm really grateful and delighted for having you this morning. Thank you for the wonderful session. I believe every one of us we learned one or two. And thank you so much for staying through for 75 minutes now and counting. We really do appreciate you. All right. So I just want to drop some key and important notes for us to just take home out of the diverse information that has been passed across to us. It is very important for us to actually prioritize our personal lives. We don't need to overwork ourselves. Fine, we actually want to master the new work order and all. It's actually very, very important for us to actually strike a balance. In as much as we know that one of the benefits or some of the benefits of working remotely include getting jobs globally, having a flexible working hours and all, it's very, very important for us to strike a balance so that we will not actually fag out. It is important for us as well to have a good workspace. Time management as well is very, very important. So, and it's also important for us to have regular breaks, then to actually set a realistic expectation. I actually like that example that our speaker gave us the other time. Some of us in the pitch to actually meet up with targets, make more money and all of that. We set unrealistic deadlines, just like a job that is supposed to take you for 8 hours, you can now tell the employer or your client that it's actually be done within 4 hours, 3 hours, and doing stuff like that will actually fail on our health. And some of it that we don't really do exercise and all of that, we can actually get carried away. And once it starts telling on our health, then we will now end up spending more than necessary on our health. All right. Thank you so much once again, everybody, for staying till now. Our hosts will actually add to whatever I just said and round up this session. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. So we'll appreciate each and every one of us for staying true. And we did appreciate us. Thank you for everyone that have helped us through the preparation stage and using the social media to repost. We appreciate each and every one of us. And till the next time that we'll be meeting, whereby we'll be hosting another session, I would like to say uh, do have a wonderful time. And it is important we always look after our mental health, irrespective of what the aim of we making extra income is. Our mental health is important. And for some of us who would like to tap into this new work order, it is something that we cannot but to do without, because that's the revolution that the world is experiencing now. So we just like to enjoy us to stay abreast with the current evolutions that we are having in our world. So thank you so much. Thank you, and thank you for staying through with us. And that will be the end of today's webinar. Tagged uh, okay, I just got a message now. Someone asked when will be the next version of this enlightening program. We will get us posted. We're working on, we have like about 3 or 4 sessions that will be coming on. So will keep us posted. Do well to like social media pages so that you get information about all every program that we're doing or our webinars. So you can join all our social media pages on Facebook, on Instagram, and as well on our YouTube page as well, and TikTok. So I will just be sharing our social media page with us so that we can. So, minute, please. So here is our social media handles. So you can join us on all our social media handles so that you can know when next we'll be having the next program. For the person who just dropped that question. So we have like about 2 to 3 series or sessions that we're preparing for. So do well to stay connected with us on our social media pages. Thank you and God bless. Till we meet next time, do have a wonderful weekend. Bye.